World War II was the most widespread and bloody war in history, and is one of the most discussed and talked about events in human history, with countless books, films, and TV series about the event. But despite the amount of information that is available on World War II, there are still some mysteries that remain unsolved even after 7 decades. So today I'm sharing with you what I believe are the 5 greatest unsolved mysteries of World War II. The Yamashita Treasure. Yamashita Treasure is the name given to the alleged war loot stolen in Southeast Asia by Japanese forces during World War II. The stolen property reportedly included many different kinds of valuables, looted from banks, depository, other commercial premises, museums, private homes, and religious buildings. It takes its name from General Tomoyuki Yamashita, who assumed command of Japanese forces in the Philippines in 1944. Sterling Seagraves, author of the Yamato Dynasty, The Secret History of Japan's Imperial Family, contend that looting was organized on a massive scale by both Yakuza gangsters, such as Yoshi Kodama, and the highest level of Japanese society, including Emperor Hirohito. The Japanese government intended that loot from Southeast Asia would finance Japan's war effort. The Seagraves alleged that the Hirohito appointed his brother, Prince Yashita Chichibu, to head a secret organization called Kin no Yori, meaning Gold Lily, for this purpose. It is purported that many of those who knew the locations of the loot were killed during the war, or later executed or incarcerated by the Allies. Yamashita himself was convicted of war crimes and executed by the U.S. Army. According to various accounts, the loot was initially concentrated in Singapore and later transported to the Philippines. The Japanese hoped to ship the treasure from the Philippines to the Japanese home islands after the war ended. Sterling Seagrave and a few other historians have claimed that American military intelligence operatives located much of the loot. They colluded with Hirohito and other senior Japanese figures to conceal its existence, and they used it to finance American covert intelligence operations around the world during the Cold War. There are also some accounts that some treasure remains hidden in the Philippines, which have lured treasure hunters from around the world for over 50 years. Despite all the effort, what happened to that loot is still unknown. Hitler's Globe. The Columbus Globe for State and Industry Leaders, or Hitler's Globe, was a globe specifically designed for the Nazi leader Adolf Hitler. Charlie Chaplin made it famous in the film The Great Dictator, where he portrayed a megalomaniac dictator dancing with a massive globe. It was inspired by the real globe that really did sit in Hitler's office and went missing after World War II. Hitler commissioned at least 2 expensive globes with wooden bases to be made by the Columbus factory, but the one he kept in the new Reich Chancellery was never found by the Allies. Soviet Minister of Internal Affairs Lavrentiy Beria was the first to inspect the Reich Chancellery once the Red Army had captured Berlin, and it is possible that he took the globe to the KGB headquarters at Lubyanka. It could still remain there, but the KGB refused to confirm or deny this. Interestingly, a globe was discovered by an American soldier among the ruins of Hitler's Eagle's Nest complex next to the Bavarian Alps, although it is believed to have been too small to have been Hitler's globe. The globe was sold for $100,000 in 2007, but what exactly happened to the Hitler's globe will almost certainly never be known. The Disappearance of Flight 19. The legend of the Bermuda Triangle still exists to this day, and Flight 19 was one of the first and most famous disappearances near the east coast of Florida. On December 5, 1945, 5 TBM Avenger torpedo bombers, who came to be known as Flight 19, disappeared during a U.S. Navy overwater investigation training flight from Naval Air Station Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and the crew members of a PBM Mariner flying boat sent to find them also disappeared. In all, 27 men disappeared, presumed dead, including the 14 original airmen. The Navy's original report into the incident determined that Lieutenant Charles Taylor, who was leading the group, had a habit of getting lost and that he led the junior members around in circles until they all ran out of fuel. It is even alleged that the junior pilots knew where they were while Taylor didn't, but they felt compelled to follow their leader further into the Bermuda Triangle instead of back to Florida. The ruling was later changed to case unknown, and Navy investigators have since been unable to determine the reasons for the disappearance of Flight 19. No bodies or aircraft have ever been discovered, leading to the legend of the Bermuda Triangle. Many supernatural theories have arisen as a result. What do you think? Could Flight 19 really have been destroyed by some otherworldly force? The Amber Room. The Amber Room is a world-famous chamber decorated in amber panels backed with a gold leaf and mirrors located in Catherine Palace, Prussia. It was considered an eighth wonder of the world before it was lost. The Amber Room was looted during World War II by Army Group north of Nazi Germany and brought to Königsberg for reconstruction and display. However, after the war, the Amber Room was never seen in public again, though reports have occasionally surfaced stating that pieces of the Amber Room survived the war. Several eyewitnesses claim to have seen the entire room loaded onto the German passenger ship Wilhelm Gustloff in January 1945, which was then promptly torpedoed and sunk by a Soviet submarine. Despite this, two British investigative journalists determined in 2004 that the Amber Room was likely destroyed during the bombing raids on Königsberg Castle, although this has not been proven. What exactly happened to the eighth wonder of the world is still unknown. Interestingly, however, the Soviet government commissioned a replica of the Amber Room to be built in 1979 at Tsarskoye Selo. Taking 24 years to complete, it is now available to be viewed. Who betrayed Anne Frank? Everyone knows the tragic story of Anne Frank, the German Jew who was captured and killed at the Holocaust at Bergen-Belsen concentration camp. But not before she wrote a diary while in hiding in Amsterdam that came to light in July of 1945. From her family, only her father, Otto Frank, survived the war, and his tragic tale has begged an important question ever since. Who made the anonymous phone call that told the Gestapo about their hiding place in a secret annex above the so-called Anne Frank house and shopped them? Various suspects have been suggested over the years, with the most often blamed being William Van Maren, who was the warehouse manager. When allegations were made toward Van Maren, however, all potential witnesses had died, including Julius Dittmann of the Nazi officer who received the phone call. Another suspect is longtime friend of Otto Frank, Tani Ahlers. Ahlers' son, Anton, helped in the creation of the biography of Otto Frank in 2002, and he claimed his father had indeed reported the family to the Gestapo. Lina Hartog van Bladeren, a cleaning lady, may have also turned over the family because she feared her husband would have been arrested, as she is known to have testified that Jews had lived on the property. In addition, other employees in the warehouse that became the Anne Frank house also revealed in a 1948 investigation that they knew the family were hidden in the secret annex, meaning they are certainly suspects as well. Dietmann committed suicide in the immediate aftermath of Germany's surrender, meaning that no conclusive proof could ever be found as to who made the phone call. The person who betrayed Anne Frank and her family will almost certainly never be determined, it seems. Thank you very much for watching. If you find it interesting, then please share this video with all your friends and be sure to subscribe because you really don't want to miss what's next.